What is up, homies? Welcome back to another episode of the Chexicans podcast. Yo. Guys, it's a great day. I don't have anything to drink, but I'm toasting to the fact that Linkin Park is back, baby. God damn it, I'm so excited.
It's a big day. It's a big day.
Congratulations, Adam.
It's a big day. 7 years.
It's your your favorite band of all time? Your favorite band of all time?
Of all time, that's a great question.
Has to be.
They're definitely up there in like the top five. Along with Metallica, Metallica, Led Zeppelin, like AC/DC. You know, they're way up there.
Yeah.
Last time I saw them, and you guys already know this, but last time I saw them was for my 30th birthday in Prague. And
that's a good day.
A month later, we lost Chester, so they've been on a hiatus ever since. And so today they announced not new name. A lot of rumors were thinking maybe new name. They used to be called Zero. That was like the very first band name they had. So a lot of people were thinking like, well, maybe they're going to go back to, being Zero because they're starting from the beginning again. But no, they're still Linkin Park, but they have a brand new vocalist and a brand new drummer, and they sound great. They sound great. It's really hard. It's so hard to fill in those shoes because Chester Bennington was like unreal vocally.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
Very unique. Yeah. So
absolutely,
you're not replacing Chester. You're just starting a new era of the band.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I saw
legit.
people.
That's fair.
I think you posted that, Adam, on Twitter. I saw other people say the exact same thing, to be like, it's very cool that it's not can we find somebody that sounds enough like him, but it's like
we're not doing a
little
voice
clips
match here.
Yeah, exactly. I saw clips of the new lineup, and the lead singer, she sounds really cool. It's really cool to hear those songs with a woman singer. It's awesome.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah.
So, congrats to all the Linkin Park fans. Congrats to Adam. What a great
guys! They announced the album today. They announced the new lineup today. They're doing their first show as a band next Wednesday.
Wow.
At the Kia Forum.
Wow.
Crazy.
Well, then that they've had this in their pockets for like a year at least.
Sure.
Longer.
Just to gel with the band. And
yeah. Much longer, actually. I was reading a little bit of their interview. I think it was with Billboard magazine. And it's kind of been very slowly in the works for 4 or 5 years. But snail speed, like slow crawl.
Yeah.
Because they met Emily in 2019 and they warned her. They were like, listen, we work real slow. And they had been meeting up and not really making much progress. Like they would meet up and they would do a little bit and then lose their creative juices and then get it back.
You're saying, Adam, they recorded a new album already with Emily, this new singer.
Yeah, November 15th
new songs,
it drops.
new album.
Yeah, new everything.
That's crazy.
New everything.
Going on tour officially in 2025, but they're doing a set of 6 shows that are kind of the kickoff for the album. So
are you gonna go? You get tickies? Are you gonna go?
They go on sale. Listen, if I can get tickets tomorrow, we're gonna be moving next week's podcast to Tuesday. Just FYI, or Thursday, or whenever you're free.
Okay. When what time do they go on sale tomorrow?
12 p.m.
You're like, I don't want to say because somebody in the chat right now could be watching, could take my tickets. 12 p.m.
That's like the Linkin Park Underground member pre-sale. The public sales on Saturday.
I see.
Friday.
Are you in
you're part of
Linkin Park Underground member pre? Oh my god!
Of course he is.
Anybody who went to Prague is automatically included in that. Anybody who saw them in Prague.
Yes, sir. So I'm stoked.
Kate Van D wants us to shut the fuck up and start talking about Beetlejuice, bro, because she's ready. It's her favorite movie ever.
Wow.
Too funny,
I'm reading Kate's comment, Augustine. I don't think it was as harsh as you read it.
I think it was. That's what she was thinking. That's exactly what she was thinking. She's like, these nerds need to shut the fuck up.
Kate Von D just channeled Beetlejuice like, hey, come on, start talking about the movie. Come on, what do you make me wait for?
Who's the star of the night? Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. One of these guys gonna shut up.
So that was a pretty nice, not unexpected because I knew for a couple of days it was going to happen. But when something like that gets announced, the rumor mill starts swirling like crazy, and all kinds of stuff was popping up. So
we had scheduled something, the three of us. I'm going to let the internet know. We had scheduled this afternoon to record something together at 3:30 in the afternoon. And maybe an hour and a half before, Adam messages us and he goes, I'm going to hop into this Linkin Park live stream at 3. Are we still going at 3:30? 4 o'clock? When are we going? And I was like, okay, if this live stream
Let's give it some time.
actually goes, like, I would not be surprised if but you were there for you caught the announcement or whatever. Like, you were already messaging, you're already posting about it when we were at 3:30. So I was like, okay, we're good. We're like, Adam's free now. But I was like, he might be taking up this entire hour, however long this live stream goes. I don't know, because this is Linkin Park. Like, we might not see Adam the rest of the day.
Sad.
Well, they did it really smart too, because they kicked off the concert with a new song, and they didn't bring out Emily yet. So it was people were like, because I'm in their Discord too, and oh my, is this a new song? There's a new song. What are we doing? What's happening here? Is this going to be a new album? And then they bring Emily out, and right before they bring Emily out, some people in Discord were like, oh, I don't think they're going to announce a new like vocalist. And sure enough, the moment someone said that, they're like, I rescind my comment. My bad.
Yeah,
I jumped the gun.
Yeah.
So,
never mind.
Yeah, so they didn't really waste any time making all those announcements. But I was shocked. I was shocked that it was not only new single, but new album, tour dates, the whole shebang. Because I thought maybe it was going to be, we're making an album, it'll be out sometime next year. We're in the process of. But the fact that they've already done it and it's already on Apple Music and Spotify, and you can like pre-download it or whatever. Great work by them to really just deliver on the hype up of whatever their announcement was going to be. So
nice.
Anyway.
So very cool. No, wait. Hector, do you have a band that you would be this excited about?
Michael Giacchino.
Like if they came
honestly,
back
no.
or nothing.
I mean, maybe Daft
nothing
Punk,
whatsoever.
But
oh god,
even when Daft Punk was active, I think I had. I mean, all the years they were active, I never like went out of my way like, oh, I got to go see them. I got to go to Coachella.
Well, they didn't perform when you were when you thought about
perform. Really, they didn't really perform. So I don't know, man. I like Strokes. I like Weezer.
Oh yeah,
but they're still all
I like
together.
a lot of bands like that. Yeah.
So but I'm glad you mentioned Daft Punk and the Strokes, because those are two of probably my favorite bands of all time. So I agree with you.
They're up there, man. They are. I need to get the rest of Daft Punk's music, but I have like, I think last year, maybe the year before, I sat with my girlfriend, because she also loves the Strokes, with Abby, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna like buy all their albums, or I'm going to go through their albums, and if there's like songs that you don't really care that much, I just won't buy them, and I'll just get like, because every album will have like 4 to 5 bangers that you love from the band, and then the rest of the album's like 13 tracks or whatever, so you're like, maybe the rest of them I don't necessarily love. And I was telling her, I'm like, I'm fine with not having all of the, because sometimes here's a stupid thing. I can listen to the dumbest little piece of music if it's a film score, if it's like barely anything, but I'm like, that's part of the movie. If I'm listening to music on shuffle and that comes up, I'm like, okay, cool. I like that movie, so I'm happy that I just listened to this little piece of music. If I like the Strokes and I'm listening to the Strokes music on shuffle and some song comes up, it's not one of my preferred songs, I'm going to be like, why am I listening to this? I don't like this as much. I just want to get to I get mad. So I told Abby, I'm like,
that's crazy.
If you go to like Apple Music or iTunes or whatever, it'll be like, you can buy the album for $10. I'm the idiot that's like, I would rather buy 8 songs I like for $8. And it's like, but for $2 more, you get like 7 other songs.
Full
I'm
album.
Like, no.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care.
Have you ever heard of a thing called a playlist, Hector?
Yeah,
because you can just make your own my favorites of the Strokes playlist.
I know, but then my brain is also like, well, then why do you have them? Why do you have the other songs if they're not? If the playlist isn't like, I don't know, just it's so stupid because it's so little space. But on my iPod, I'm like, space is precious. I must reserve all of the space for the film scores. So the point is,
you're gonna need another iPod,
we went through the every album and every like extended play, every EP, everything that the Strokes did, and it was really fun. It was like over a couple of nights. I'm putting the albums on. I'm like, okay, I love this song, this song, this song, this song. Are you good with that? And Abby would be like, yes. And then I'd be like, I like this whole album, and Abby would be like, me too, get the whole album. So like, I have a little collection of Strokes music that I'm like, I'm just waiting for a new album to come out. I'm happy.
Yep.
And that's a stupid process for me because I buy the music, I put it on my iPod, I sever it from the internet, and it's mine. I don't rely on Spotify. I don't rely on, I can't do it. I just get so I hate listening to music sometimes.
Oh, you're getting anxiety as I'm watching you.
Right. I am. And I don't mean to pass it on, but really the iPod truly is for if I'm listening to music while I'm reading something at home or on vacation or whatever, or on an airplane, or if I'm listening to music in my car. I just want to listen to music in my car. If I'm listening to the radio, I'll put up with radio commercials, obviously, but then change the radio station. But if I'm if I already have my shit plugged in, if I plug in my phone and just go to Spotify and go Strokes songs, and I'm driving in my car and I'm listening off of Spotify and the internet and Wi-Fi, the second the first ad comes up, I'm furious. I'm like, why am I even doing this? I hate this. Wow. I hate this. This is pointless. Do you know what I mean?
Hector, I'm like, technology, man.
It's just it feels like it feels like a betrayal and a waste of time, because I'm already in an app called Spotify. The radio, I'll suffer it because I know how that works, and we're used to in our lives. Hey, we got to keep the lights on, so here's a commercial. That's fine. But it's
same with Spotify though. They got to keep the lights on, so here's a commercial.
I know, but if my brain is if I'm already at that point, if I'm already at that level where I created a playlist on Spotify, or I logged into something, I'm and I might as well have that shit in my iPod and it's done. And there's no commercials, and I already took that kind of step. Do you see what I'm saying? Radio to me is 0 steps because it's just there. It's if you go to your parents' house and you're flipping channels on TV or cable, I can't be mad at anything. It's this is a 0-step process. But we've talked about this, guys, if we're watching something and we pull up a streaming service and there's ads in the streaming service, I'm already so mad. I'm why in the fuck am I watching a commercial? Do you see what I'm saying? That's why
for something I'm paying for. Yeah.
Right. But that's why I'm forgiving to. I just did a podcast with a guy that I know from New Rockstars, really great guy named Jordan Morris. He does this podcast where they specifically watch movies that are on streaming apps that are free and they have ads. And I'm that's a great concept for a podcast. And I am forgiving to that, because if you go to what is it, Freevee TV or Tubi?
Yeah,
you don't have to pay.
Both great apps, by the way. Great apps.
Yes,
I really like
those. I was on Tubi
stuff
earlier.
Yes,
I'm they got Halloween.
Yes.
They got all kinds of shit.
Dude,
I'm wow,
they
what
got
the hell?
So much good stuff.
And if I'm watching a movie that I chose, that I could click on one of those apps and I'm watching it and an ad comes up, I am my brain goes, but you're not paying for this. This is them kind of trying to replicate when we watch movies on TV channels.
Yeah.
So I'm forgiving to it. But yeah, dude, especially when it comes to music I care about, like a band like The Strokes, really or Daft Punk, or all of my film scores or whatever, I just can't. I get so mad if it's just stream it off YouTube.
You know what you should do, Hector? You know how we have a new tier for the Patreon? You should show off your iPod process music thing whenever you get a chance to upload one of those videos, because that would be interesting.
It would be. I do a lot of that sort of crap with my Apple iTunes playlist, because I pay for it monthly, so I'm able to just access it freely. So I do a lot of that stuff. I'll go through the MCU, for example. I have a Marvel Cinematic Universe playlist, and it's just in order of release. And then some of it has custom album art, but sometimes for the episodes they do multiple releases. It's episodes 1 through 4, episodes 4 through 8, episodes 8 through whatever. So I go through and I make each of those. I basically make those albums into one enormous compilation, but it's all under one album. So you can click on one album and it's disc 1, disc 2, disc 3, and that's how I break it out to just make it easy. Because I don't want to be going. I don't want 8 entries for WandaVision. Just give me one. I just want one.
Yeah,
it's kind of fun to customize.
It is. I do go off of if they do separate episode releases for music for the music of a TV show. I did it for What If. I think Loki had the same thing. They split that up. Or WandaVision's another good example. The thing is that my brain is okay with that because I put it on my iPod, and then in my iPod I have a playlist that is just What If, and they're all in there. Or Star Wars Visions is another one. They did it by episode, and each album is maybe only $5 or $3, because it's just a few tracks of music of some of the Japanese sounding music for the Star Wars Visions shorts. But then I go to my iPod and I created a playlist that is all like 9 of those in one. And it's only like an hour's worth of music, and it's amazing. And you hit shuffle on that, and you're just like, oh, where am I? Where am I now? What is this? It sounds so cool, so beautiful. So, and we lost everybody. We lost Kat.
No.
She wanted, they wanted to hear about Beetlejuice.
Kat's gone.
We lost him.
Kat's gone, by the way. Kat left an hour ago, so she's gone.
Hey,
Hector,
come on.
So remember I told you guys that I went to the MCU the show at the Hollywood Bowl.
Oh yeah,
right?
Tell us about this.
Amazing. That show was absolutely freaking incredible. So we show up, and I noticed that there's a lot of families that are taking their kids there. It's great, like good vibes.
I love that.
There's this one kid who was so excited. They had MCU trivia before the show, and he was just screaming out the answer, just like Avengers Campus, blah blah blah. This is it. Like he knew everything, right? And so he was so hyped. And so, you get these bracelets, and then the show starts, and you kind of forget that you have a bracelet on. And then suddenly, like, you're seeing some really cool stuff. Like, stuff is happening. They started off with the big three, right? They started off with Iron Man, Thor, and what was the other one they started off with? Cap? I think it was Cap. And so they did those three, and at, intervals of like, whenever big things would happen on stage or whatever, your bracelets would light up, synced into the stuff that was happening on screen. And it was just so cool. And then like fireworks were going off, and cool. It was really, really rad. But to kind of go off your point, remember I told you guys that there was these kids that were pissing me off behind me because they were like, they were just hating on everything. They didn't even know why they were there in the first place. Like they had to ask their parents what they were about to watch. But then at the end, I could tell they were kind of into it. But at the end, those kids were like, well, you can't really listen to movie scores on their own. They're kind of, synced in with like blah, blah. And I'm like, I was like, I wish Hector was here. I really wish Hector was here so he could turn around and just start talking.
I would have turned around and be like, you can listen to them on their own.
You can listen to me, child, you son of a bitch.
You can stream them on Spotify or Apple Music.
But I think what was really cool and what stuck with me the most, okay, so I will say one of the coolest things was Michael Giacchino coming out for 4 minutes. He comes out with his little vest on, and then he turns around. He's like, and he's got a number 4 on the back. He's like, hold on, guys. Hold on. He's like, just can you give me 4 minutes? Are you guys excited to give me 4 minutes of your time? Oh my please? God. And he's like, I'm writing something really cool. And then he goes over to Dudamel, who is this legendary conductor for the LA Phil.
Who was given a vibranium conductor stick, by the way.
They did a vibranium titanium conductor stick, right, by Kevin Feige at the beginning of the show. And so he gives him this piece of music. He's like, I'm just really excited, blah, blah, blah. The music was a banger. Almost stole the complete show, dude. The music was so good. So he gave us 4 minutes of that. But I think my favorite thing was they kind of gave me the vibes. So they were going through each Avenger and like kind of telling their story and playing their theme music and stuff. And I feel like they kind of were sorry about what they did to Black Widow. Like they kind of focused on her and her story. So they did the whole story where, she gave up her soul, spoiler alert, where she died. And when Hawkeye and her were struggling, they intercut it with moments of her life from the Black Widow movie, from events in Avengers and stuff like that. And I was like, is this them trying to say sorry? Like, I got the vibes that they were trying to say, my bad, you guys, we should have killed off Hawkeye. Maybe that's just wishful thinking on my part, that I wish Hawkeye would have just bit the dust. But, like, it felt good that it felt like they rushed through most of the Avengers that were not the big three, except for Black Widow, which was kind of rad. And I was like, okay, like, hopefully they were trying to say something. For me, I kind of got those vibes, but I don't know. I it's going to have to be other people to kind of look at this this event and see what happens. Because Adam, you said they're going to take this on a world tour. Like they're going to start playing this globally.
Yeah, starting next year. So next year, be prepared. We're going to go to the Marvel Cinematic Universe concert, and right after, we're going to go to the Linkin Park concert. So be ready.
Great,
double feature.
Yeah, it was really rad.
It's doing a whole world tour, which film score music is so interesting to me because I feel like when we were young, acquiring film score music was so hard because they didn't really put it out as much as they do nowadays. Like to track down certain CDs, Carpenter's Halloween, John Williams Star Wars, especially the like expanded editions of these scores. Good Lord, I went to Tower Record Video on a weekly basis to figure out when they're going to get new shipments of those things. But it's so cool to see that these like film score concerts that play the movie are booming right now across the Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse, Batman. They're doing it for so many movies. I've seen at the Hollywood Bowl, I've seen a couple. I did Star Trek. They're so cool and so fun.
Didn't we do Coco together?
We did Coco.
We did Coco.
Yeah.
That was rad. Yeah.
There's been just like so many of them. So it's really cool to see. And I cannot wait to go to that concert next year because I've seen clips of it that people have posted online. And you know, clips are cool, but it doesn't do justice when you're there in person to watch the actual thing. It's really great. So I can't wait. But it's great that it was good because I don't doubt that Marvel will put on a show, but you know, sometimes you don't know what you're in for, especially when it's their first thing. And if you're going to walk out of it going like, oh, well, it would have been cooler if they would have done this, but it seems like everyone loved it.
Oh, it was a banger. It was a banger. And like Adam said, we've been to several ones of these shows, but I feel like this one, I thought nothing could beat Coco because Coco was really rad. Coco really did something special, but this, I think I got to give it to this one. And I think it's mainly because of the spectacle. Like Disney really knows how to put on a show. And obviously, because, you know, they're in the business of that. But the way it was put together, the editing for the video, the effects around the Hollywood Bowl, the fireworks, the bracelets, just like kind of everything, the vibes were perfect. And I hope they can... I hope they can repeat that at theaters worldwide because I don't know if they can because the Hollywood Bowl arch is so kind of like
it's a pretty
unique.
That's true.
You know,
you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
And fireworks, like not every venue is going to be able to do fireworks.
Yeah, true.
I would love to be involved in like the creative development of a show like that because you guys were listing, you know, some awesome kind of franchises that can support that. Like if I worked on like, hey, we're putting together one of these for Star Trek, I'd be like, oh my God, we gotta have this piece of music in this moment, in this sequence, in this scene, and it's so fun. And I think the thing with Marvel, especially because this is supposed to be the Infinity Saga, is that you just have so much good stuff that you can kind of trim the fat. Like it's just all hit after hit after. Do you see what I'm saying? It wasn't a concert for just like Captain America: The First Avenger in concert. It's like that's great. I love that movie. But you're gonna have people sitting there for 15 minutes going like, okay, you know. But with something like Star Trek, Star Wars, Marvel, like John Williams is an institution. If Tim Burton did one of those, speaking of
Danny
Beetlejuice,
has done one.
Danny Elfman's done. So Danny Elfman could go through.
He's actually doing
sort of
a new one
filmography
recently.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. So maybe not Tim. Like maybe they could do a Burton, but it basically just be Danny Elfman. Like that's what it would be. But
that's all him.
It would be. It's really fun to see when they're able to kind of pull that off. You know, it's really cool. So
I gotta ask Adam because I'm not a big Nine Inch Nails fan. Are you excited for the new Tron music?
So I like Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. I like them a lot. And it's so interesting that they're being credited as Nine Inch Nails and not Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. And I wonder,
they just want to be like Daft Punk. That's all.
Yeah, they just want. I think it's really just following suit. So like, I've really enjoyed the music that they've composed for a lot of films. And like, I like Nine Inch Nails. I'm not like a diehard by any stretch of the imagination, but I truthfully, it's just so hard to follow up Daft Punk. Like Daft Punk's album or that movie is just so incredible that you got big shoes to fill. So, but the movie itself, I have very mixed feelings about Jared Leto. Truthfully, like I don't understand why it's not Garrett Hedlund back again. I don't really like get what the story is.
Or Olivia Wilde, or
right. You know,
but they're bringing back Jeff Bridges.
They are. They are.
He died, but I know that it's easy
There's going to be some story explanation. Yeah, and there's no Cillian Murphy. It's Evan Peters. I think is playing like his brother or whatever. So, I mean, movie. I'm lukewarm until I see something that really impresses me. Atticus Ross and Trent Reznor. I'm down for. I'm really down for. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do.
We were talking about it when we just rewatched TMNT Mutant Mayhem, and their score for that is awesome. So
they
like,
did a rendition,
I'm sure they'll bring it
for sure.
They did a rendition of Carpenter's Halloween theme, and it's really good.
Really?
Oh, yeah?
Ooh, I'm gonna have to look that up.
Okay.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, for sure. But also I asked that because Dakota Jones asked, what's your favorite composer? He did a super chat. Thank you, Dakota Jones. What's your favorite? Hector, who's your favorite composer?
Dakota, my favorite composer it's probably pretty easy. It's Giacchino. It's Michael Giacchino. Has done, and not just because Giacchino has sort of become like nerd royalty and done all of my favorite, like oh my God, Star Trek, Spider-Man, you know, my favorite stuff. But like, I love Michael Giacchino for the scores for films that nobody loves, like John Carter. Like Speed Racer is an incredible film score. I still listen to that shit all the time. His film score, I can recite his score for the Will Ferrell movie Land of the Lost. Dun 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 dun. It's really good and really funny. So he brings it even when there's a movie that people don't care about, and Michael Giacchino was the composer on. But he's also happened to be linked up with like some amazing movies, and you know, his Star Wars Rogue One score is great. The Batman is great. That score is great, dude.
Yeah. I feel so bad. I like that he knows you by your first name too, Hector. I think that's really right. Maybe you guys are on a first name basis. What do you mean? Of course he does. You interviewed the guy and he's like, he called you by your first name. Hey, so that's dope.
Hector. Yeah.
I fumbled
Trying
the bag.
Trying not to be a stalker. Yeah.
I fumbled the bag. He's a friend of one of our friends. And I met him at a birthday party here in LA. And I was leaving the party and my buddy was like, here, you got to meet Michael real quick. And I was like, fuck, I'm not ready for this. Like, it's a loud room, whatever. And I just got tongue tied. I got nervous. I was like, well, I'm a big fan of your stuff. I got to go by. And just, I just felt like an idiot.
It's all right.
And so whenever me and my wife go to Disneyland and one of his amazing scores pops up, you know, on the campus or whatever, I always turn to her. I was like, you know who wrote this song? My best friend Michael Giacchino. You know we're best friends.
Yeah, you're going down Main Street and you hear the music. Yeah. You hear the music from Up or Inside Out.
My best friend Michael Giacchino. He wrote this.
That's so funny.
McDoodley's got a super chat for $2. McDoodley is saying, well, first of all, your favorite composers. Adam, yours has got to be Carpenter or John Williams. Those are your top two.
Well, here's the thing. I really love John Carpenter's music, but I think that my favorite Carpenter music, truthfully, is Halloween, and everything else kind of trickles down from there. And I like it, but I don't love it as much as I love the score for Halloween. But probably, if you were to give me like a top 5, it'd probably be like Carpenter, strictly for Halloween, truthfully. John Williams for such a huge variety of music. Probably like, if you were to ask, if like, you know, like knife to my throat, John Williams, probably. Superman, Star Wars, Jaws, E.T. The list keeps going on and on and on. Hans Zimmer's great. That'll probably be like my tops.
Nice.
Augustine, who's your favorite? Daft Punk for Tron Legacy?
You guys know who. I mean, look, if I could give it to them for doing just that one movie, I would give it to them. But you boys are sleeping on my boy Howard Shore. My God. My God, dude. That's true. The man's unstoppable, and mainly it's for Lord of the Rings, right? Like that's really kind of like, for me, a perfect movie score. That I don't really listen to movie scores without the movie, but that's the one that I can listen to just front to back, side to side, you know. Agreed. Just everything, just 360 degrees, just put it in my veins. I need that. Bro, that score.
How excited are you? I still haven't done it, but I have the Bear McCreary Rings of Power stuff. It's good. It's not Howard Shore good. It's
really good.
But it's really good.
It's
and
unique.
I mean really good.
Yeah, it's like really good. But I think also Michael Giacchino, he's a legend for every reason you said. But I think I also want to throw Bear on there too, just because he's like, I think he's gonna be one of those guys.
Oh yeah.
Given the passion he has, given that 10-hour album he put out, he's gonna be one of those names that you remember forever.
We got to mention Ludwig Göransson for Black Panther alone, but also Creed. Like Ludwig
Creed
has had
score is amazing.
He's had some heat, Ludwig.
Oppenheimer. So
right,
Jesus Christ.
Right. So you gotta put him on there too.
Yeah.
All right,
okay,
Hector,
hang on.
We got McDoodley's super chat. We got McDoodley's super. Well, did we call out Senny's $2
No, we didn't
one?
even do that. Senny.
The OG.
Senny says on foot all night. How dare you? LOL. Hashtag go Knowles. FSU heart emoji.
Listen, Senny's been in the chat for the past hour or two, so come on.
Thank you, Senny.
So he's watching football and he's watching us.
I love that. Also, I want to shout out just Dakota Jones' name. They got the coolest name. That sounds like a detective. Like it's Jessica Jones, like Dakota Jones. Dakota Jones here.
Private investigator.
Dakota Jones. I don't know Dakota Jones's pronouns, but Dakota Jones sounds badass either way. If this is a he, that's a badass name, Dakota Jones. If that's a she, that's a badass name, Dakota Jones. I like your name, Dakota Jones. For all of us.
Funny.
McDoodley's asking favorite characters from Beetlejuice. Probably it's probably Beetlejuice. If I'm going to be honest, it's probably
the titular character.
Yeah,
Hector,
Beetlejuice.
You were also saying that what's her name? Oh my God, I'm blinking. I was just saying her name. Catherine O'Hara. You're saying she was so killing it too. Yeah. I admittedly was unable to go to the screening, so I will have little to nothing to say about the second movie. But we can also talk about the first movie and what we like about it and what we don't like about it.
Oh my God!
Because we just rewatched it for the Patreon.
We did, and I mentioned this at the beginning of the video that I've seen this movie 167 times, but I have seen it so many times that, well, actually it was funny because I went to a screening a day before you guys, and Hector was like, should we watch it today before you go to the screening? I was like, I don't need a refresher. I'm the last fucking person who needs a refresher on this movie. I quoted in my sleep.
Okay.
To the point where my girlfriend's like, will you shut up, please? But yeah, it was really fun to rewatch it because we have never watched it together as a group. I'm shocked that first of all, I'm shocked that it's not been a movie we watched together. But I know that not everybody rewatches movies as often as others do, and that is one that I have seen probably the most out of all of us. Maybe not, I don't know. But it was fun to rewatch, and sometimes because I'm watching the movie, I like to tab over to our recording software and just watch what the reaction is going to be from everyone. And sometimes I'm like, all right, I guess I'm the only one who finds that funny. But then there's other moments in movies I'm like, all right, good, I'm glad that still hits for people. And Beetlejuice is one of those where so many things just hit all the time. No matter how many times
it ages very well. That movie just aged like fine wine, dude. Such a good movie. We talked
about like Tim Burton. We talked about just like the creativity of the 80s and 90s movies and how this had that weird little bit of animation in it, and that Tim Burton came from animation. It was really fun rewatching it with you guys. And I want to answer. I think it was Kate at the beginning asking if how does the next one hold up? But Kate said that Beetlejuice is her favorite movie, and I'm like, I don't know how to answer that for somebody who Beetlejuice is your favorite movie, because you might have the pressure and higher sort of standards. You know what I mean? It's really tough. Like I think we talked about this with this movie, but I can't remember if we were talking about this with something else. Guys, refresh my memory. But no, we were saying that the original, because it was this weird little thing. Adam, you were saying while we were watching the film that Michael Keaton has talked about, where they're like, nobody cared what we were doing. We got to do whatever we wanted.
Yeah.
But then a sequel, and all these years later, has all this pressure on it. So it has all these eyes on it, has all these producers. It's produced by this person, this person. Fucking Brad Pitt's a producer.
Brad Pitt's a producer.
Weird,
because Plan B is his company.
Exactly. So there's just a lot of cooks in that kitchen, And thank you. I didn't get the DM. Thank you so much. So I'm sure that I got it. I just haven't opened it and looked at it. But thank you for that book recommendation. Really appreciate it. Homecoming. Thank you so much, Homecoming One.
Homecoming One.
It was a sci-fi book recommendation that I was asking about earlier. But so I think the new one is good. I liked it. But I also think the original is good and I like it. I don't think the original is my favorite movie of all time or the greatest movie of all time or not even Tim Burton's best movie. And we were kind of talking about that, like what's our relationship with it?
Right.
It's just kind of tough because it's like but thankfully this new one is not something like the sequel to Zoolander, which I thought was bad, or the sequel to Dumb and Dumber, which I thought was bad. I would say maybe this is closer to like the sequel to Anchorman, which I thought was pretty good. I remember being like, okay, like I liked Anchorman too, but it's not as good as the original. But I would put this one, I mean, I started a little Tim Burton ranking on Letterboxd, and this is just right under Beetlejuice. Like those two are sort of one unit. You know what I mean? In my Tim Burton filmography. And I need to rewatch a lot of his stuff, but I think at the top is probably just going to be Batman. It might be his film of mine that is my favorite, maybe, is the original Batman. I don't know. Maybe Big Fish will beat it. I don't know. I have Frankenweenie on 3D Blu-ray. I doubt that I like that more than Batman. It's Frankenweenie. It's a good movie.
Frankenweenie's a fun movie. It's a fun movie. It's a good little spooky Halloween movie. It's great. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, but that's my sort of like non-spoiler review of Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is that I was like, everyone's really good in it. It's really fun. There's some cool creativity and fun stuff to look at while it's happening, and I had a good time. Like, and there's one specific bit that they did a few times that got me so good, dude. I laughed so hard. I'm like, this shit is so funny to me.
Like a genuine belly laugh. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adam, what's your non-spoiler review?
Well, I went into the movie definitely being like a huge Beetlejuice fan. I wouldn't say it's my favorite movie. To answer that, that's like a hard question for me to answer, period. But it's definitely like in probably my top like 15, 20 rankings of movies that I like absolutely adore with every fiber of my being. I love that first movie. And I think it's because the fact that it is very creative. It really feels like they just cut loose and they had, like Michael Keaton was saying, there was nobody really trying to steer them in any direction. It was just complete freedom to be totally creative and to do whatever the hell they wanted. And you're right. This movie definitely has a lot of pressure on it because 36 years later, it's a sequel. They're bringing everybody back. They've had, some actors that they need to like shuffle out of the mix. How do you do that? Do you bring other people in? Do you substitute them? Do you replace them? Like, what are you really doing? And then what's the story? Like, essentially, what is the story? Why are we going to come back and do another film if the first one is kind of lightning in a bottle and is done so incredibly well? And there was a lot of iterations. Like, famously, Kevin Smith talks about Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian was the sequel for a while, where it was like, must we go tropical? So, yeah, I think if you're already going into the movie with such high expectations, I don't think that the movie lets you down, truthfully. I think that it's still, like Hector was saying, it's very entertaining. There are moments that are genuinely funny. They made the right decision to restrain themselves from putting Beetlejuice in the movie in its entirety. I think he's a little bit more in the film than in the first one. I don't know minute-wise how much more, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. He's definitely in it more. There's just some choices that I think were made in terms of like how much story they're trying to do in one film. That was kind of unnecessary. There's a lot of subplots. There's the main plot.
Yes.
Sort of the main story with the Dietzes and generational, relationships and that stuff like that. And then it brings Beetlejuice into the mix in an interesting way too. But then there's also subplots, and there's different characters having different objectives and different missions, and I don't feel like those subplots were necessary because there's actors in the movie that are in the film, but they don't do a whole lot. They're just kind of literally walking through the movie, being a character. So I would have almost preferred that they just axed those things and just got rid of them.
Sure.
And
especially because it feels like, without giving anything away, those subplots are there because everything sort of does come to a head in the end. And it's up to you to be like, well, did it pay off? Or is it just kind of like, okay, this is all coming together? And I don't know if I could even answer that, because when it was all happening at the end, I was like, I like this ending.
Right.
But
Right.
like Adam said, I don't know if this is the best use of some of those actors or characters or
Yeah. Do the ends
whatever.
justify
But
the means, basically?
I don't know. But yeah,
Yeah.
I liked it. But I don't think for somebody like Kate Von D, I think that was Kate's name.
I think so.
I don't think it like I can't see Beetlejuice immediately replacing the original Beetlejuice is like, okay, now this is your new favorite movie. That's how good it is. Because I don't know if any movie, no matter how good, can kind of do that when it's your favorite movie of all time. That's crazy. If they came out with a sequel right now to The Iron Giant and Brad Bird like wrote and directed it and it was 2D animated, I would be like, I don't know how to process this. Like, I don't know if I'm happy or sad or like. I guess no, I would disagree because I think the Cali kid is saying Beetlejuice is a Top Gun Maverick of Beetlejuice sequels. No, because I think Top Gun Maverick is better than Top Gun. I don't think this new Beetlejuice movie is necessarily better. It's just like for me, it's like right there. They're like they're here. See. But for me, here's what I'll do it this way. Here's Top Gun. Here's Top Gun Maverick for me.
Right.
But then here's Beetlejuice and here's Beetlejuice.
Right.
Right. Slim margin. Slim margin.
And I would agree with that. I would think like Top Gun is a great movie, but Top Gun Maverick takes what that establishes and makes like a really great film.
Oh yeah.
You know, like just
banger of a movie.
Just walked out of Top Gun Maverick and I was like, holy shit, that was incredible. I was not expecting that movie. I walked out of I walked out of Beetlejuice and I was like, it's not as good as the original, but it's still great. It's still fun.
Yeah.
And I always have to kind of like, I try to do this thing where I'm watching it as someone who like loves film and has a passion for film. And then I try to remove myself a little bit from that. And I go, okay, but how is someone who was like maybe 15 who saw it in 1988, now they're, you know, what's the math on that? They're going to be like in their mid 40s
or something.
Right. They're mid 40s going in their 50s. How are they going to respond? They're probably going to go, you know what? I had a really fun time. It was silly and it was funny. Michael Keaton was great as Beetlejuice. Catherine O'Hara is fucking hysterical. So I think for most people who are going to go watch that movie, who are a little bit more disconnected than we are from this sort of stuff, I think they're all going to go into it because like a lot of people in my theater were laughing a lot, and I was too.
Yes.
So it made me feel really good that even though some things weren't clicking for me, the audience was having a really good time. So I do think that majority of people are going to walk out of the movie and they're going to go, you know what? Yeah, maybe there's a couple things that I didn't necessarily love, but Michael Keaton made me laugh. The cast made me laugh.
Yeah,
it's really visually, like the visual quality of the movie. It really tries to tug at like what they did in that original film with stop motion and practical effects, and of course there's CG enhancements. That's inevitable. That's just how it is. But I think like all the groundwork that they did was really, really great, and it's fun and it's funny, and I really enjoyed it.
It's you know what I think it is? I think that the original Beetlejuice just has so much goodwill surrounding it. Like people just like it. This new one, it did feel like it's like an advanced screener audience that I was with. It did feel like you're saying, Adam, they were all there and they were willing to like, everyone sitting there was just like, we already love this shit. Like, just be good, just be decent, and we're here to have a good time. You know, the world is just getting worse and worse every week. And it feels like sometimes there's movies that come along and you go, this is a movie that everybody, not to say that they're forgiving to it because it's a bad movie. It's not, but just like more than happy to go to the movies and have themselves a good time. That's Beetlejuice. People are going to go see it this weekend and they're going to come out of it and go, it was great. I had fun, because you need to laugh. Because that's what kind of movie that is. It's kind of silly and it's not too deep, but there's something there and it's fun and it's kind of family and it's a little spooky, but it made me
honestly think about the conversation we had about Beetlejuice 1, where you were asking like, you know, how we feel about, you know, whatever message or like basically what the depth of the storytelling. Yeah. How deep is it? How far does it go? It doesn't really. Like it's really just kind of like just running at the surface. and you're like,
Yeah,
but I
basic
love the
stuff.
characters, and I love the humor, and I love the comedy, and I feel like this movie is that. And I agree.
Yeah.
I think that there are movies that I think are appropriate for that, and Beetlejuice is definitely one of them. It's a movie you go into, and you're not there for anything other than to just be solely entertained. And I think the movie delivers on that front.
And it has some heart, because even what you're talking about, Adam, that surface level stuff, it's not nothing. It's about moms. It's about, there's a stepmom has a relationship with Lydia Dietz, now grown woman character, and it's a little fraught.
Is cool.
There's moments where they're like, but we're here for each other, right? Like we did okay, and you're like,
we figured it out.
Lydia trying to figure out stuff with her daughter. Like there's the sort of basic universal family messages in there. So it is a kind of a family movie, and it's a little bit heartwarming and stuff. So, but I never felt like the audience decided that this movie had something to prove. Do you know what I mean? I feel like people are going to be pretty accepting and pretty open to, it was all right. I liked it.
And I think if at any point, and like, I don't want to discredit anyone who goes this route, but I will say, if you see someone who's like really, really trying to pick the story apart and like get into the weeds of it, it's Beetlejuice, man. I don't know what to tell you. It's not that kind of movie.
You must have not seen Beetlejuice 1. I don't know what to tell you. Somebody didn't watch Beetlejuice 1, so
Yeah. I think most people that are going to go into it this weekend or over the course of the next couple weeks, most of them are going to walk out going like, that was really fun and funny. And like, I almost feel like that's all they were trying to do. And if you find moments of it that you connect to that are heartfelt or you can relate to, great. I do think that movie delivers on that front. So yeah.
I was listening to the radio and just really quickly there was an NPR interview and they were interviewing what's his face. Why am I so bad with names recently? The director.
What's his face? Hang on,
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton.
Let us guess.
Bob
3 syllables.
Malarkey.
Okay, first syllable.
They were interviewing Tim Burton and they were like, so was it weird getting Michael Keaton back on stage as Beetlejuice? Did you guys have to like rehearse or practice? He was like, not at all. He showed up on set day and was Beetlejuice immediately. And so it just, from what you guys are saying, it feels like it is that kind of movie that it's like they knew that they didn't have to go out and be super sacred to like whatever happened in the past because the past is just a silly goose time. Right? That movie's just fun. The movie is just, it was what it was. It was silly. It was creepy. It was quirky. It was all these things. And I like that you guys are saying that this movie wasn't trying to be like beholden to some kind of like, well, Beetlejuice did this one thing in this movie, so we have to do it again in this next movie, right? Because that's I really don't like when that kind of fan service is being like forced onto a new production.
Or that they went overly sentimental with it.
Right.
Because it's it's Beetlejuice. It's this weird like comedy,
really creepy guy.
We've talked about this before, but the sort of sentimentality, and I liked the movie. I didn't love the movie, but Ghostbusters Afterlife is an example where they pivoted after they did the Ghostbusters with Kate McKinnon and Leslie Jones and stuff, and people hated it just because it was women, and it wasn't the best comedy movie ever, but people really, so Sony pivoted and they're like, okay, if the Ghostbusters is precious to you, we'll make a movie where every single thing that the Ghostbusters did in the first 2 movies in the 80s was precious. And now here's Ghostbusters Afterlife. And it feels a little bit like, it's just nice that Beetlejuice sort of got the tone. This sequel, I guess, got the tone without making it too cynical or too fluffy. It's just right there in the middle. So it's good.
I agree.
That's cool.
Fellas, are we gonna? Should we hold our Terminator talk until next week or till next episode? Terminator, because I mean,
I don't know.
Are we still planning for the Patreon?
Adam, put out a poll and ask how many people have seen Terminator Zero.
Terminator Zero.
Terminator Zero. And then we can talk a little bit because I feel like those 2 movies with Terminator Zero kind of go hand in hand right now. Like talking about what was
T1
cool
and T2?
about both of those projects. Yeah. Well, no, talking about T1. I'm sorry. Yeah, T1, which we just saw for the Patreon, and then Terminator Zero. and then we can kind of like talk a little bit about both of those projects. Wait, we still have some super chats. Hector, get Nerds Engage for $5.
You got it. Nerds Engage is asking, what is your Jerry Maguire mission statement for the channel? And then followed up, and that's our 20th ever super chat. And then followed up with another $5 saying, basically the overall vision for the channel. I think that's a very interesting question. I guess
that is an interesting one.
My response would be just have a cool, nerdy, geeky place that is very welcoming. And we nail that shit every day, dude. Every day.
We got that shit.
Adam, what's yours? Adam, you're trying to push forth the Superman supremacy. You're trying to push forth DC, Halloween, John Carpenter supremacy.
Oh, man, that's a tough question. Vision, mission statement. Yeah, I mean, you got fucking mosquitoes. Guys, it's hell. Mosquitoes are everywhere.
Yeah, this weather is crazy right now.
I don't like it at all. But oh my God, my vision. I mean, truthfully, I feel like if we could get to a place where we just have an opportunity to watch whatever we want, whether it's things that we want to watch, the audience wants us to watch, and then we can use all of that to try to like build relationships with studios and production companies to like go to screenings, go to events, and take you with us. And whether that's like a live stream or, you know, putting things out on social media or whatever, like that's kind of the dream. And being able to like support ourselves with it fully and create original projects, whether it's like cooking specials, and like that's part of the reason why we changed up some of the Patreon tiers and all that kind of stuff. Is I have other projects that I would love to do, but if we're like in this constant cycle of just having to put out a reaction, and like never being able to build towards having those opportunities, then we'll never get to it, and that is sad to me. So I would love for us to be able to get to a point where like we can put out a few things a week. I also just truthfully don't want to be beholden to new shows anymore either. And I just told these guys this a couple days ago, because I think it's like it's really, really hard to try to build out a library of things for people to watch if at the same time we're watching The Rings of Power, Agatha All Along, Penguin, Superman and Lois season 4, and having to like deliver those videos on a weekly basis. It's really hard to also do other things in the background. Like we just watched episodes 4 through 7 of The Rings of Power just to like get ahead, where we have 8 episodes of The Penguin. They're awesome. We have 8 episodes of The Penguin in our inbox. We have the first 3 episodes of Superman and Lois of season 4 in our inbox. We're probably going to get screeners for Agatha All Along. So, you know, it's like we're trying to build our path so we can get ahead on some of these shows. So while those shows are coming out and we can just like publish, we can work on other things in the background. Like that's that like right now is like a dream, and we'll I think slowly hopefully get there. But yeah, it's a little bit of a slow crawl. We also didn't start out on YouTube doing reaction videos for shows and movies. It was just trailers and movie reviews. That was it. That was literally it.
And news, just weekly news. Remember?
And weekly news. And, you know, like weekly news kind of wasn't evergreen after a certain point, because you talk about it on Friday and by Monday we've moved on to whatever the next trending thing is. And that's become even more of a thing now because the news cycle is that much faster than it was 8 years ago. It happens with trailers sometimes too. Like unless it's Deadpool and Wolverine, you watch the trailer on Monday and by Tuesday we've moved on to the next trailer. So it's tough. It's really, really tough. You know, like some channels have had other success with certain things being a little bit more evergreen, and we may dabble and experiment with those things, but there's no one road to success doing what we do. It's really just trial and error. And when one thing doesn't work, you try something else, and when that doesn't work, you just constantly are kind of like trying to figure out what the thing is. But it's an evolving process.
Yeah.
I don't know if that answers your question, but you're welcome.
It did. Augustine, your agenda: MF Doom, Ninja Turtles, motorcycles, drums.
That's not even. That's all my personal stuff.
Until right now, I totally forgot that Augustine even played the drums. I haven't heard you see me play them in so long.
Drums. I know they've been in storage for well over a year at this point, which sucks because I love my kit. No, but I think my mission statement is to crush my enemies, see them driven before me, and hear the lamentation of the women. I mean, clearly, that's
what is best in life.
That's what is best in life, right?
Well, the fuck didn't I give that answer? Jesus.
Yeah, that's the best. Yeah, you idiot.
I mean, clearly,
we're all real.
Yeah, dumb. God, I'm gonna crush you next, Adam.
I can answer this next one, even though it's directed to Adam, because John Liang for a $5 super chat. John is asking, slightly off topic, but Adam, what are your thoughts on the new look Lincoln Park? Parentheses, change is inevitable. Not off topic. We talked about all of that at the beginning of this video.
We did.
John, when our live show is done, go back and watch it because it's great, and you can hear all of Adam's. That's a little.
It was like a half hour.
It's good. Yeah, it was like a long time.
Half hour. Yeah,
it was too long. It was like concerning the title of this video.
Beetlejuice. Weren't you talking about Beetlejuice?
Yeah, Kat really wanted us to talk about Beetlejuice immediately. So,
oh my gosh, how many more of these? How behind am I on this? Come on,
you're very behind.
Where am I?
You're very behind.
Oh my god!
So John put in another $4.99 super chat.
Yeah,
that's where we're at.
Wolf Trap, just outside Washington, D.C., did Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring with a full orchestra and choir a while back.
Oh, that's incredible. That would have been sick. That's incredible.
You know, actually, Lord of the Rings would be an amazing one because it's long.
Oh, yeah.
So that's you're getting your money's worth. That is a
you know what I would almost prefer. Again, when you're thinking about like putting a show like that together, if it were me, I'd be like, look, we're gonna do Howard Shore, the Lord of the Rings, and the Hobbit music. It's going to be mostly Lord of the Rings, but there'll be some Hobbit
3
stuff.
days long.
And I would do 1 3-hour show, right? 1 3-hour show, but maybe the first 40 minutes are like the sort of best of moments and hits from the Hobbit trilogy.
Right.
And then you go into Fellowship and you would show like a whole scene that they would kind of score to, and then kind of you just have to hit all the hits. And the last 2 hours, 20 minutes would be Lord of the Rings films, those 3,
right?
And you wouldn't hit every single person's favorite piece of music, but you'd be sure to get all the hits.
You'd be doing pretty good. Doing pretty good.
Of course.
Whoa, Movies Clockford coming in with $20. Whoa!
Wow!
Wow!
Thank you, Movies Clockford.
I haven't seen that much money since I've had a job. That's a lot of money. Wow! And I haven't had a job in years. That's crazy. Movies Clockford said, I read Adam's Twitter about Matt Reeves' comment about his next Batman movie. Personally, I wish he would embrace the fantastical elements from the comics. I want to see Batman taking on Poison Ivy, Killer Croc, Mr. Freeze, etc. I don't think Matt Reeves is the guy. I agree, but I think it needs to be, like Adam said, the next Batman movie version.
Yeah.
It's not. It can't be this one.
Yeah.
The first movie was 7. It was too grounded.
Yeah. Well, and I think maybe I didn't word the tweet. I could have worded the tweet better, but
you did fine. You did fine. Yeah. I got it.
Don't worry about that.
At like no point, it was like I was not saying anything negative about Matt Reeves, Tim Burton, Christopher Nolan, nothing. My point was simply the next guy that comes in, I gotta, you gotta win me over, and I'm the audience, so what do I know? I'm not gonna know until the movie comes out, but like, I really would like someone who comes in and says, like, I want to do Man-Bat, I want to do Poison Ivy, I want to do the Ventriloquist, I want to do, and like some people's response was like, well, they already did and it wasn't good. And I was like, well, come on. It was in 1995 and 1997. It was literally 30 years ago. What the fuck? Come on, guys.
That attitude is the same as Christopher Nolan going, I want to do Batman, and somebody going, well, they already did it and it wasn't good.
Right.
It's like,
exactly.
It's because you got that response, Adam, because comic book fans sometimes they lack imagination. They can't see it if it's not right in front of them. Super Mario would make a terrible movie. It was bad movie. Right. Shut up.
Yeah, exactly. And truth, I really mean this. I love all the villains that they've used for all the movies up to this point. I love them. The way they remixed them, the way they've changed some of the stuff, the way that they've used different comic book arcs to tell different stories. But I've seen Joker enough. I've seen Catwoman enough. I've seen Harvey Dent good enough amount of times. Yeah, I would like to see maybe a new Scarecrow in the future and do something different. But there's just some of these villains that have been around in the movies since the first movie, since the 1966 movie. And I'm like, guys, I'm ready for something else. Like, give me something else.
Let's do a Clayface movie,
Bring in Phantasm. Let's just do something different, Yeah. Let's embrace some of the weird kooky shit. And if you're going to be in the DCU, where I feel like that stuff is just going to be a part of building out that universe, you're going to have to find a really good reason to be like, we can't do Clayface. Well, you're putting Robin in here. Come on.
Yeah.
Right.
Explain this to me. So
Yeah, stupid. Leppy182 with $5 says, "Yo, homies, you homies coordinated your shirt colors tonight, didn't you? Otherwise, wild coincidence. What are our colors? Green and black and purple? What is that? What is that? What are
this
those
is just a
colors of?"
standard for me. this
Yeah, I
is
don't know.
it doesn't change much, folks.
And then they said,
Did we say
"P.S.
something?
Don't look
I don't know.
too deep to Emily Armstrong. Not great." Cool. I have no idea what that could be a reference to.
Am I going to find this out later on social media?
I don't know.
About Emily Armstrong?
Probably.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, I'm sure it'll eventually get to us.
Cool.
Nerds Engage with a $5 response saying, "Damn, Adam, that was a great answer. Thank you for the honesty. Thanks, guys."
Thank
that's
you.
it, folks.
Yeah.
We got one more. Kingsport Cal with $10. I haven't seen $10 since I've had a job.
I haven't seen Kingsport Cal since I had a job.
Yeah, Kingsport's been missing, dude.
Hector.
Where you been, bro? Welcome back.
Hector, a few months back, I stole your country lawyer bit and used it on Knapsack's call-in show. I've been disposed as of late, but love y'all. Hombres getting jiggy. Hector, get on the break room and DJ stuff. Thank you, Kingsport Cal.
I
the colors look Beetlejuicy.
That's so funny.
I guess, yeah.
I see.
The colors are
Beetlejuice. They look kind of Beetlejuicy. I can see that. I can see that.
Green.
All right.
So
All
dumb.
right.
How did I know that?
Yeah. Very Halloweeny. Very Halloweeny,
Ben
you
Jack.
guys.
Yeah.
I
That's too funny.
Definitely.
okay, I'll assume that's what they meant as well too. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I want to ask Hector this thing too, Adam. Not much
Yeah.
for you because I know Hector's #1 Simpsons fan.
Yeah.
The Simpsons land is
just so you know, I haven't watched the Simpsons episode probably since like 1992. Okay, proceed.
Yeah.
Simpsons land in Hollywood. I'm sorry, in Universal Studios is going away next year. Are you gonna go visit? Are you sad? Are you going? Yeah.
Dude,
It's
I
going
was
away
just
from
there
it's
and
owned
I
by
walked,
Disney.
and I walk through it and I don't care.
Yeah.
Is it? Do you think? Oh, is it going to revert? You think that
'Cause
Disneyland's going to add Simpsons stuff? Is that what's happening?
I don't think Disney's going to add Simpsons stuff. They just can't have it at Universal anymore because it's not a Universal property anymore. So there's a big area there where they can do something. So now the other question, you guys, Simpsons Land is leaving.
What should go there?
They're building a Fast and Furious roller coaster right across from the Krusty Land thing.
Mm-hmm.
But there's going to be an empty space now. What would you guys like to see in place of the Simpsons Land?
Can I be real, dude? Can I be real? I was just at Universal Studios. It's kind of jank, bro. Like Universal Studios. Sorry,
hey, bro.
I like things about
don't talk
it,
shit,
bro. Hey,
It's just too small. That's the unfortunate
nothing but love
thing.
to all the cholos. Nothing but love to all the cholos. I love the
all
tour.
the Edgars.
I love the
All the
tram.
Edgars
All the tram tour. All the Edgars. All my cholos. Nothing but love. Don't jump me. But like
All
the
the
land
fools,
itself, Universal Studios Hollywood, it's kind of jank. It's a little janky.
It's
you got to put your backpack in a locker before you go on a Harry Potter ride, and it's like it's
Yeah, I mean, listen. Have you been to the Florida one? The Florida one is killer.
No.
Florida one is
Heard it's
dope.
awesome. They have Marvel.
Universal Florida, yeah, incredible. They have Islands of Adventure.
Yeah.
They have the Hulk roller coaster.
Yeah.
They have the Doctor Doom drop ride. They have. I will say that their X-Men parade is jank because they all ride motorcycles that are themed like their character.
trikes.
Not even motorcycle
So
trikes.
funny.
They ride trikes. That are themed like their character.
Yeah.
But I would say this is a good opportunity, just like Universal did Mario Land. Let's put a little Pokemon Center there. Let's do like some Pokemon stuff in that area, right? Like, wouldn't that be rad? That would get me to go. Like, I have a half season pass to Universal, and I think I've been like 3 times in the whole year. And
you know what else? You know what else I'll give you? I'll actually do another pitch, and I am biased because my girlfriend is an English voice actor in it, but they should do Demon Slayer because Universal Studios Japan
is that Universal?
has like a Demon Slayer ride and all this Demon Slayer shit, and it's super popular. And it's like, you know what? If Universal Studios Hollywood here in LA is janky, embrace it. Do stuff that Disneyland would never do. Do anime, do video games, do Nintendo. Like you're saying, do a Pokemon Center, but also if they're just like, we have like a little anime corner. All the anime fans would show up to that and be like, that's so cool, and go on rides and take photo pictures.
That would be massive.
It would be.
Yeah.
It would be.
It would be.
I
Yeah,
agree.
Universal has the disadvantage that it's really small and they can't really expand because it's surrounded by nothing but businesses, residential. It's hard for it to grow.
It's a studio.
They can.
And they make movies
if they
there.
decide to dig into the studio, though. They would have to dig into studio space.
They would.
Because the studio space is massive. Also, there's a massive golf course literally on the other side of the studios.
Yeah,
they should buy out that golf course. Get it the fuck out of here. It's just wasting water. Bro, water in California is precious. Get it out of here.
You don't have another place to take your meetings, David Zaslav? Fuck you, dude.
Wrong studio, but yep.
I don't care.
Yeah. Zaslav probably goes
have
there.
meetings with each other. They'll have golfing meetings with each other, all those executives.
I forget her name. Yeah, I forget the name of the CEO of Universal. But I agree. I agree.
Yeah. If they really wanted to, they could. Like, there is something that they could acquire. I don't know. Obviously, they don't have Disney money. I like that they're putting... I don't know how safe this is going to be, but they're putting that Fast and Furious ride on the side of a hill. Like, it's not on flat land. It's on...
it's janky, bro. It's janky. It's janky. I'm telling you.
I might wait a year before I ride that ride. I don't know if I'll be able to weekend.
Yeah, do not be there opening weekend.
I feel like there's more stuff. I feel like there's more escalator space than actually floor space to walk around at Universal Studios, because you're on that escalator for like 2 hours.
It's a 15-minute escalator ride each way. Jesus Christ. You know what
that's crazy.
Yeah.
We went on the Jurassic ride, and my girlfriend Abby was like, dude, this ride kind of sucks. And then we hit the drop, and it was awesome. But like, you go on that ride, and the dinosaurs are like,
Yeah.
You're like, cool, great ride. Great.
I actually really like that ride. I really like that ride.
It's a good ride.
I really like the Transformers ride too. I think the Transformers ride is really cool.
Sick.
Oh, see, I didn't do that one. That was my mistake. I need to do it.
Yeah.
Wait,
they also have the Mummy.
Wait. You've never done
I've done it years ago. But I just went a few weeks ago, and I didn't do it on that trip.
Dude, Transformers.
I had some.
I got a lot of opinions about those Michael Bay movies, but that ride.
Yeah, but that ride.
Whatever you have to do with it, that shit is awesome. That is an amazing ride. Absolutely. I would love for them to embrace more horror at Universal, because they have so many projects from Blumhouse, like so many things that they work with on Blumhouse, and they have their own Universal monsters that have been a part of the Universal legacy since the 1920s, 30s. Yeah, and there really is nothing there for those characters. And I don't know what you would do. I don't know if it's a roller coaster ride. I don't know if it's some kind of like Star Wars. What's the ride that I'm thinking of? The brand new ride?
Star Tours?
No, not Star Wars.
Rise of the Resistance?
Rise of the Resistance. Something like that is some kind of like interactive thing that you partially walk through, partially ride through. That would be really, really cool. And if it was very like 30s, 40s themed, it's all black and white. Like, I don't know. I think something like that could be really, really fun.
That would be really fun.
Yeah, like I think they need to really embrace some of that stuff. Yeah.
The Mario Kart ride was kind of jank. That's the other one.
I haven't been on any of the Mario stuff.
Sorry.
It is kind of jank.
Doesn't quite. They're like, ride this slow thing, but put on this VR thing that makes it look really fast. And I'm like, whoa, but I'm not even going. Like,
it's very noticeable that you're going slow.
Yes.
I get it. I get it. And I feel like the land too could be a little bit better. But get to these super chats.
Agreed. I'm going to go backwards. Movies Clockford, $5 super chat says, Walt Disney was smart to build his Disney park in a huge open area so he can expand and stuff. Yeah.
Even they're running out of room.
Unchained.
Yeah, they're running out of room too. Yeah.
Says, muchachos, I just turned 29. Knowing that you guys being a part of my life is something that I cherish. We need to hang out more. Take care, Space Cowboys. That's so nice, dude.
Happy birthday, Ronan. Was 9 years old when we started watching our channel.
Oh, God. I'm old.
Happy birthday.
I burped.
Happy birthday, man.
Ashley with Republic credits, 250 Filipino pesos. Oh, my God. I haven't seen that many Filipino pesos since I had a job, and I haven't had a job in years. Coughs, Spirited Away reaction, coughs, any Studio Ghibli reaction, coughs. Also glad to see Secret Invasion on the schedule. As much as that silly finale is, I still want to see y'all's reaction. So it's coming, and Studio Ghibli is at the top of our priority list for when we're doing movie reactions, but they're not tying into like a new thing like Beetlejuice or Terminator or something. Like, trust us, we want to see Princess Mononoke and Spirited Away. Those two at least, and then maybe more.
Absolutely.
We're always thinking about it. And Secret Invasion's coming. Okay, great.
Yeah.
I want the audience to know, for my sake, I've been pushing anime hard, you guys. These guys are fighting me tooth and nail, bro. They're fighting me tooth and nail. They don't want to do it. They hate it. They hate it. I was like, guys, there's a new Dragon Ball Z show coming. Let's do it. There's Demon Slayer. Let's do it.
Actually, that
Let's
is
watch
true.
Samurai Champloo. Let's do it.
Augustine, actually, you did say, you're like, they're doing a new DBZ. We should really think about it.
Yeah.
What's the other one that was on Netflix? Blue Eye Samurai?
Blue Eye Samurai. So. That one's got to get done too. Yeah. Amazing show.
There's
some good reviews.
There's so much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. You guys.
Another thing we hopefully want to get to is that we can do, like Hector's saying, we got one movie that kind of ties into something we're talking about on the podcast, but maybe have a couple that we can do that are like like more library things that are for Patreon, and then eventually we release them on YouTube. But that would be because I truthfully really do want to get through all the Studio Ghibli movies, like so bad. I bought all of them just so we could watch them. They're on my shelf, so I definitely want to get
seen them.
Yeah, I definitely want to get through them because I'm waiting for us to watch them, and then like more animation stuff. I'm down to do more. Whether it's like, well, we talked about doing Demon Slayer, but like any of that stuff, I'm totally up for.
Yeah. Guys, Mauda Lee with $20 super chat. Oh my God! Says thank you all for the fabulous content.
Thank
Love you three. Mauda, thank you, Mara, so much.
Thank you.
And Leppy with another $10. Speaking of Universal, did you guys see that they revealed the new Wolfman design at Halloween Horror Nights? Feels like something that shouldn't have been seen in bright daylight. I did.
Was it bad?
It's a costume guy. Yeah, because it's a costume. It's a theme park costume.
Yeah,
that should be for Halloween Horror Nights.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like seeing it's like seeing Werewolf by Night at Disneyland with his brown fur, and you're like, that looks dumb. It's like, you got to watch the black and white movie that they made for the Marvel's Werewolf by Night. And with this thing, you have to wait to see the Blumhouse movie. It was unfortunate. It was a real bummer.
Yeah.
Anyway, and Leppy, thanks for ending this live stream on a downer note. Whap, whap, whap.
Well, I think it's especially hard too because Halloween Horror Nights is really, really fun. I don't know what the budget is for that thing, but if it was me and I'm debuting the first look at the Wolfman from an upcoming Blumhouse movie, I'm going full prosthetic, like to the nines, and I'm making that shit count because you kind of have to. Otherwise, people are going to have the reaction that they have. They go, "Oh, this is going to look like shit in the movie,"
but also
no, it's not.
It's not going to stop anybody from not going. Like,
of course
there's just like, I mean, there's people who are going to go regardless. That event is sold out every single night.
Oh my God.
And it's a big event. It's a big event. So, Hector,
holy
get that one.
Shit, you guys. Biella 69, nice. Biella with a $50 super chat. $50? That's crazy.
$50? Like
that means we could eat tonight, boys. We could eat tonight.
Yeah,
that Piscani on the stove,
wow,
real good.
Wow. Biella says, glad to see this tonight. Been a while since I've been able to show my appreciation for the work you do and the humans you are. Stay strong. And then this beautiful little fist emoji. Thank you so much, Biella69. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Wow,
thank you.
$50. Much appreciated.
Boys, we're rich. We're rich, guys.
Something really quick that we didn't really. I'm assuming that most people who are in this live stream know that we change things on our Patreon, but just in case, there are some
things
people
on our Patreon.
Yeah, just in case there are people here who maybe don't go to our Patreon at all, but maybe have like thought about dabbling. We changed a few things. We added 2 new tiers. One is a $2 tier, and that $2 tier is basically a way for you to just like support us if you're not necessarily looking for any rewards. Plus, you get access to our Discord server, so you can join the community, talk about all the things that we're watching. And then we added a really cool tier, our $15 homie tier, which is like the all-inclusive everything and the kitchen sink tier, where you get access to all the uncut reactions, you get early access to cut-down reactions for shows and movies, but also every month, each of us is going to do a video on a topic of our choosing, or we might pull the audience and ask like, hey, here's what I'm thinking. Here's 3 choices, pick one. And, I might do Blu-rays, Hector might do comic books. What the fuck is happening? I am in a different window. I can't, oh my God.
Oh my God! Whoa!
I think Hector's pants are full.
We can buy 2 houses now.
Oh my God.
We can buy 2 houses now. Maybe have 2 dinners.
God damn. $99.99? What the fuck? That's crazy.
Oh man!
You gonna read the comment?
Thank you so
Sorry,
much.
Adam.
Yeah.
Sorry, Adam. Adam, you were like, I'm in a different window. What is happening over there?
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Thank you so much. That's very generous of you. Thank you so much.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But
You're
yeah,
the best,
so we
Leppy.
changed our Patreon tiers. The $15 tier is like the holy shit package, and every month we're gonna do separately, individually. We'll do a video on a topic of our choosing. Like this month, I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I might do a Blu-ray haul, or I might do something else. I don't know, but that'll be fun.
I might do how I download my film music and put it on my iPad.
You really
That might be
should.
my
You
video.
really should show that process. You're gonna see a lot of Blu-ray hauls because I've been buying a lot of Blu-rays recently too. So that's gonna be it's gonna be a big one.
And I definitely think I will at some point. I don't know when, but at some point I will do a video that's like, hey, you want to start a Plex server? Here's what that is. Here's how to do it. So so we're gonna be doing that stuff, and then at some point we haven't really talked about like when we're going to start doing this, but at some point eventually we will also do on top of that a video together, and it might just be like a Q&A, a bonus episode of Chexicans or whatever. So that'll be a lot of fun too. And and it all goes back to support like what we're trying to do here.
Yep, our mission statement of
Sounds good.
My 15-minute mission statement that was
seeing our
not as
our
good as
enemies
Augustine's.
driven before us. Yeah, for sure. That's what we want to do.
pretty much.
Awesome. Guys, $99. Man,
I don't.
I'm gonna go
next
buy,
one's gonna kill Hector, so we gotta go.
Royce.
We gotta go.
Yeah, he's gonna
we
have
gotta call
a
it.
fucking heart attack.
Oh my God.
No more
Wow.
9-hour streams. The only reason I will do a 9-hour stream is if we're doing something for charity. Otherwise, no.
Yeah, agreed.
I will not do another
Agreed,
9-hour
agreed,
stream
agreed.
of my Blu-ray
Agreed,
collection.
agreed.
That was dumb.
Yeah.
Anyways, next week we'll probably move the show. If I get tickets to Lincoln Park, we're gonna have to move the show on a different night. Sorry, everyone. But we'll talk about Terminator. Here's a little bit of here's your poll result for the evening. Also,
Yes.
of people who
And your
haven't
homework because of the poll results.
Yeah.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Yes.
Did you see Terminator 0? 67%
Guys.
of our audience said no.
We
32%
watch
said
it.
yes.
we should try and we have reactions for YouTube of us watching Terminator 0. They're in the works. We're trying to be current and remain current with Rings of Power, but those are coming to YouTube. I think maybe more people in this community especially will see it if we trickle out those YouTube reactions, because you guys, I'm telling you, it blew our minds.
Patreon too.
It blew our minds. Like that show blew our minds.
Yeah.
So
And
definitely check it out.
Oh yeah.
In our shorts.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and like we also
Man.
have stuff for Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Batman King Crusader.
Yep.
We always know it's a little bit of an uphill battle with animation. We get it. That's why we're doing more animation, because we want more people to watch it. Because I know for some people it's like, I don't know animation.
Don't you want to see what it tastes like?
Come on, just give it a chance. Don't be like me. Embrace it early. I promise it's worth it.
That's right.
And the Nacho Libre watch along is coming too. So
It's coming soon.
It's coming.
We talk about it every day. Every day. But yeah, check out everything else that we are watching. There's so much stuff. No Netflix. Well, I'm not going to tell you to do. Never mind. Anyway, watch all the stuff that we're watching. There's plenty of other things. There's plenty of other things for you guys to watch on our Patreon or on our YouTube channel. Plenty of movies as well. We're going to have movies coming out every single week, so that'll be a really fun time. We're starting Superman and Lois. For anyone who has not checked those out, we have season 1 and season 2 on YouTube. We're going to start season 3. That'll be dropping on Patreon starting on Monday, and then we'll get into season 4 once the show's out. So look forward to that. If you are looking forward to that, great. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.